All right, it's March 22nd, Team SB call. Tonight we have a very special guest speaker on. I know you guys have heard from him before, so you know that he is not going to disappoint. He told me on our one-on-one call today that he said that he's going to make a lot of you cry, which I'm really, really anxious to see what that means. So it's probably going to put me in an emotional state. You guys know I'm a sap. So before we get to that, though, I did see something. First off, I hope you guys are registered for your Super Saturday, or at least looking into getting registered for your Super Saturday. You guys can head over to the Coach Online office, go into your news and training tab, click on events, Super Saturday, and find the one that's closest to you. From word on the street, there's going to be some nice announcements at this Super Saturday. We're going to be hearing, I'm like really crossing my fingers it's a product launch, but I know it's going to be good no matter what. So you guys are definitely going to want to be there. These events are so crucial. If you guys didn't watch me in the Beachbody Champs page yesterday, I pretty much went through what you guys said and how Super Saturday has impacted your lives. And it was really, really, really emotional and kind of embarrassing. Like I got all teared up on the champions page, but just reading the words of what it did for the coaches on this team really just, it got me all emotional. Like I read Erica's, and here's the thing about Erica she went to her first Super Saturday, guys. I'll never forget this. She just enrolled as a coach, and I was like, you should go to Super Saturday. And she's like, what's Super Saturday? And I showed her how to find it in the news and training tab, and she literally drove to Super Saturday a couple days after becoming a coach. Her husband, or her fiance at the time, hid in the bathroom the entire time. She sat out there by herself, didn't know anybody, texts me after Super Saturday and goes, so everybody was standing up for different ranks. I think next time I go there, I want to be a diamond coach. And guess what she was the next time that she went there? A diamond coach. And the next time after that, she goes there and she goes, I think I want to stand up as a one-star diamond coach. Guess what she did the next Super Saturday? She showed up and stood up as a one-star diamond coach. So here's the thing. It's not about rank, but what it is about is seeing the possibilities. Getting to these events and realizing, oh my gosh, like I can do this. And like I see you guys, I know that you guys, for those of you that have been to a Super Saturday, I know that you guys know what I'm talking about. Being able to stand up and be like, that's me, I did that. Like I'm a 3-star, I'm a 1-star, I'm a diamond, I'm an emerald. Like that's cool. That is super cool. And you want to get really jazzed up about that. Like you want to try to get to one. I'm telling you, these events are everything. And they canceled our third one this year. There's only 3. Okay, so we had the one in January, we had the one in April, and we have another one until September. Summit is technically like your third one this year. So obviously get to Summit. I'll tell you that. Just get to Summit. But this is the last event you have unless you're coming to Punta Cana. I know Katie Ann and Alicia are coming with me to Punta Cana, so I'm excited about that. But you want to get to these events. They're life-changing. They change everything. So find yours. It's like 2 to 3 hours a day or that day, and you literally take so much out of it. And like I said, I was looking at Carl's Instagram stories today, and Carl's like, I cracked up and I went live on our team page about it. Carl literally said in our Instagram story, he goes, all I know is that next month you're really going to want to be a coach. And I don't know what that means, but I got excited. And I was like, oh yeah, something's coming. So I was super jazzed, and I hope that you guys are too. Get to that Super Saturday so you can find out what that is. And we will find, I'm hoping it's international. I really hope that's what the big announcement is, because I've already been running ads over to the UK to get a UK following. So, I mean, guys, get on top of it. Let's do this thing. It's going to be awesome. So, I do want to look through here. I don't think we have any rank advancements tomorrow. Okay. Moving through. I think that's it. Okay. Last thing I'm going to say before I cross over to Brad is March 22nd, guys. We still have 9 days left in this month. Shout out to Sarah. I see her on here. Sarah signed up her first person with a challenge pack. So congratulations to you. She's on the board, brand new coach. Let's see here. I'm just going through, making sure I'm not missing anybody on here. Emily is one person away from popping diamond. So shout out to Emily. Let's get all excited. She's going to do it. So exciting. Going through here really quick. Katie Ann, I think I shouted her out last week, but not a lot of people were on the call, so I'm going to shout her out again. Katie Ann, as you guys know, kind of just came out of left field over the past 3 months. She was just like, bam, 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 sign everybody up, and went from a very unstable emerald to having like 5 people on each leg and asking me how to start working her second business center. So I just really want to everybody keep shouting her on. She also signed up for the Beachbody Classic at Summit. So if you're going to Summit, We get to watch her compete in that. So that is going to be cool too. I never had a coach do that. So I'm really excited about that. She talked about that last year. So again, getting to an event, creating that vision, and making it happen. And like I said, the last thing is we still have over a week left in this month. If you're sitting at 0 right now on the Success Club board, who gives a shit? Okay, it's time to just put that aside and it's time to just go for it. Okay, if you're sitting at 2, if you're sitting at -2, there's still time in this month. Here's the thing. I want us to stop, and I actually had a conversation with another coach about this yesterday, and I said, do you think that the words Success Club is what's scaring people? And the coach was like, I don't know, maybe. I was like, great, good. This is a great conversation. But I said, I think that the words Success Club are something that's kind of intimidating people, because the moment we put Success Club in somebody's mind, it automatically goes from changing somebody's life to numbers game. So maybe we just need to stop thinking about it in that sense and just really, over the next couple days, go balls to the wall, have conversations with people, get excited about the fact that you can change somebody's life, and get really freaking pumped for whatever the hell Carl's going to announce about April, okay? Because I honestly want to make sure that, for this next week, my mindset is going straight toward growing this team. I met my successful goal. I feel good about it. And now I want to grow this team. And I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page as me. I want to take this to the next level. Let's get people started on a program. Let's get them started on Shakeology, and let's change their lives, okay? Where would you be without this in your life? Would you be overweight still? Would you be working 3 more jobs? Where would you be in your life? Don't deprive somebody of that. Don't deprive somebody of that just because you're scared. And I think that's the perfect segue into going into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to introduce him again. Again, I know you guys have heard from him before, but this is my success partner, Brad, and we talk every Wednesday. So we actually are calling it Wednesdays with Brad or Wednesdays with Kelsey, because I'm talking on his team call after this. Basically spend the whole day together. But Brad's coming off of a really incredible trip to see Brendan Bouchard, if you guys don't know who that is. So he's pretty on fire right now. So he is a 5-star diamond, 5-star lifetime diamond. He is 2015 premier coach. He is a Success Club 10 legend, meaning he has hit Success Club 10 at least 24 months out of the year. I'm pretty sure you're in the 40s now, you said? The 40s now. So Success Club 10 at least 40 something months in a row. That's badass. Probably the coolest accomplishment ever, knowing that you've helped that many people for that long. And he's going to be talking to us tonight about the icky thing called comparison and fear and all that stuff that has the potential of holding us back. So without further ado, Brad, thank you so much. I'm excited.
Woo! I'm pumped to talk to you guys. How's everyone doing tonight? Is everyone good? How's everyone's energy? Everyone's energy good? Let's pick a number, scale 1 to 10. Where's your energy at? Where would you guess it would be? Maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pick your number. Kelsey's at a 9. What can we do to up that? Imagine, okay, I actually got an idea. Close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. I did this with Kelsey earlier today, and it works. Close your eyes and picture that energy level. And I want you to just imagine that a lightning bolt of energy is striking you in the back right now. And what do you have to think about? What do you feel just saying, you know what, I'm going to go from a 6 to a 10, or I'm going to go from a 5 to a 7. How can you raise your energy by 2 bars? And just imagine a bolt of lightning hitting you in the ass, striking you in you, making you just excited as hell right now. Cool? Everyone's energy level up? Well, did we decide to make our energy higher? Yes? Cool. So I am pumped to talk to you guys tonight. How many of you have ever pushed really, really hard for something and come up short? Anybody? Anybody? Cool, me too. So our team missed Elite 2 times in a row. And I remember saying to myself on January 1st, 2015, a long time ago, this is our year, and I thought that if I hit Elite, I'd be so happy. And I set this goal with my other success partners, and we pushed and we pushed and we fought and we did everything we possibly can. And then December 31st, 2015 came around, and I was a 5-star diamond coach, 6-star qualifying, and we missed Elite by less than 5 Elite points. And you know what? I was proud of my team. I was so proud that I could represent them on stage as being a 2015 premier team, but there was that little voice in the back of my mind that said, you could have been more, dude. You should have been more, right? You failed as a leader. You don't deserve elite. And guys, like, it hurt. Missing elite by a couple of points. It was a weird mix of like proud and devastated all at the same time, right? And want to know what that little voice in my head did? It beat me down into the ground, because at the same time that I didn't hit elite, I saw all of my friends, all these people that I'd even personally mentored, hit elite. And my self-confidence went to the shitter. And I remember watching all of them at Summit that year on stage and just being so proud of them, but at the same time just destroyed inside. And I thought to myself, why am I not as good of a leader as them? So that next year, 2016 came around. You know what? I went after it, and I claimed it at the beginning of the year, and I went for it, right? And we got on the same page as a team, and we fought and we fought and we fought and we fought with everything we possibly could to make it happen. And I was so consistent in Success Club, and I fought. And December 31st, 2016 came around, and I woke up a 2-star diamond coach with 90 elite points. And I not only missed the rank, but I missed the points too by a long shot. And there go all my friends crushing elite again. You know, there goes Kelsey, crushing elite. There goes my friend Colleen Curtis, crushing elite. There goes my friend Dana, crushing elite. And there goes my little voice saying, why aren't you good enough? Why are you not a good enough leader? Why have they been able to do this and you haven't? You're not as good as them. And someone was different this time, though. It was different because I'd grown and I'd matured through the years, and I learned how to beat that voice. The point is that I fought so incredibly hard for a goal all year long, for 2 years straight, only to come up short by like 4 or 3 points one year and miss it by a long shot the year after. So how many of you guys have ever gone hard for a goal for a really long time, only to come up short, and you kind of feel like destroyed or worthless, or kind of like bummed or pissed off, or like your self-worth took a hit a little bit, and you see all these other people doing it, and you're wondering, why can't you do it, right? You've been working really hard at something, and someone new joins the team, and they're just crushing this right away, and you're sitting there like, dude, what the hell? This isn't fair, right? Why are they crushing it and I'm not? How many of you guys have ever felt that way? Be honest, totally honest, right? Or how many of you guys have, you've been a part of a push group, like a push to diamond group or a training group, and you see all these other people having success, and you're working so hard, and it just feels like you're not as good, or like you're missing something, or like, what am I doing wrong? Any of you guys ever felt that way? Me too. And so let me tell you something. All of those things can lead to comparison, and all of those things can throw you off course. All of them will take the fun out of what we do as coaches, and it can hurt. So am I right? Like that shit hurts emotionally. It hurts to feel like you're in second place. It hurts to feel like you're more talented, but you're not seeing the results. It hurts to push for elite and see all your friends hitting it and coming up short, and that little voice going, you were never good enough. I've felt that more often than I can even begin to express on here, and it hurts. But the reality is that it doesn't matter if it hurts, because guys, guess what? Pain is guaranteed in your life. I can promise you, you are going to experience pain in your life. There's going to be shit that happens that hurts, but suffering from that pain is completely optional, and it's completely up to you. It's a choice. So write that down. Pain is guaranteed. Suffering from that pain is my choice. You can look at it in one of two ways. You can say they're better. You can say that you're not good enough. You can say that you don't deserve this, or you can celebrate their success, and you can choose to make it mean that it's possible for you too. You can see that, and you can say, okay, that means I can clearly do this since they've done it. But sitting here and comparing yourself is literally the thief of joy in this business. I guarantee you that it will lead to burnout, because all you're going to do is stare at them continuing to do the shit that you probably just started doing. And you're going to feel like you're spending so much time on this, and you're not going to be seeing the results you want, and you're going to get burnt out, and you're not going to have fun. And all those people who you want to follow you and you want to inspire and connect with, like the people that you want to connect with you, not the other coach, the people that would connect with you, those people aren't going to feel your energy, because you're stuck comparing yourself to someone else. You're not trying to inspire them. You're trying to see how you stack up compared to someone else. They're going to be able to tell that your heart fully isn't in this, right? And because of that, they're not going to reach out to you. And that's going to suck. That you could have inspired them, but you chose not to because you were comparing to someone else. So what does that mean? It means that we control what we put out there. And if we're comparing ourselves to other people, if we're focusing on others, it means we're intentionally saying, I'm going to tone down my energy because I believe that I'm not good enough, and it's okay with me if no one's inspired by me. That's what comparing does. And write this one down, guys. Comparison is an act of violence on yourself. It is an act of violence on yourself. It is literally choosing not to be successful at this. Those people that you're watching, they have a completely different market. They have a completely different history. The person they were before Beachbody is different than you. They're not you. So don't focus on them and run your own race. Let me actually screen share. I prepped this so I could screen share with you. Do you guys see this picture? You see this? The swimmer? Yeah? This is what happens when you compare. See that guy, that green guy over there? He's looking at what Phelps is doing. Phelps is looking at the finish line. You guys see that, right? That's what happens when you compare to other people. It's an act of violence on yourself. So why is he the best in what he does? Because he focuses on his vision, where he is going, what he wants, not the other swimmers. If I were to spend my time looking at Kelsey, who I'm assuming you guys know, right? Knowing that she started over a year after me, and her team is an elite team, and her rank is higher, and her volume's higher, and that our team hasn't hit it at all, how fucking motivated do you think I'd be? Excuse my language, right? I'd be dogging it, right? But I'm not looking at Kelsey. I'm not staring at her saying, why is she better? I'm not looking at my friend Colleen. I'm not looking at Dana, right? I'm not looking at Jamie Fitzpatrick or Melanie Mitro. I'm looking at all the people that I can inspire with my story, with my message. I'm looking to retire Janice from her full-time job. I'm looking to change someone's life. Guys, comparison is the thief of joy. It doesn't allow you to focus on your goals. It takes your eyes completely off of what you're going after, right? The direction you're going. It takes your eyes completely off of it, and it focuses on the car driving next to you. And when you take your eyes off the road and you stare at that car driving next to you the entire time, you crash. Watch your road and don't take your eyes off it. Run your race. Separate yourself from what someone else is doing. Don't be emotionally attached to what your coach does or your success partner does. You run your race and you be glad and grateful and inspired and proud of them for what they're doing. So I know that helps with comparison, but there are still times when you hit slumps, right? There are times when you don't control your mindset, times where you feel like weak or hopeless, right? Where you know exactly what you need to do. And there's just that little lack of drive inside of you. It feels like you're trying to start a fire in the middle of a hurricane. And you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing. But no matter how hard you push, it just feels like there's no energy to give, right? You're on the couch watching Netflix knowing that you should be working your business, but part of you just doesn't care, right? Or you're on the couch staring at that screen knowing that you have to work and invite people today, but no matter how hard you try, you just can't find the urge to do it. I've been there too. I've been in that place. And that's where stuff like this, getting to Super Saturday, getting to Summit, getting on calls like this, investing in seminars becomes business critical. Because you know what, guys? Like, if you learn to think correctly when you're down, that is a skill, by the way, that you can learn. If you learn to think correctly when you're down, it's going to be so much of a shorter period of time before you get back up and you have that fire lit again. You're talking to someone that was the king of comparison. I thought that I deserved all this success. I thought because in early on in my career with coaching, I got very lucky in the sense that I got the very first Beachbody test group I was part of. I got lucky because I got to meet Autumn Calabrese before 21 Day Fix came out, right? And my name was thrown all over the social media. She was shouting me out, and I thought that my shit didn't stink. And I thought because I was friends with a celebrity trainer that things would just happen, right? And they didn't. And my business crashed and burned. And I'm talking 2.5 years of ego-driven, selfish, negative self-talk, thinking I deserved all this success, but not earning it. And I would find myself in these groups of amazingly successful people. Guys like, I'm sure you know Keith Callahan, right? Groups like that, right? And guess what I did? I compared myself. And when you have all this recognition, and you think your shit doesn't stink, but your business is in the dumps and you're earning, a couple $100 a week at the most, standing next to a bunch of millionaires, you bet your ass you compare yourself. And you bet your ass that you go into one of those slumps. And I thought about quitting. I thought about quitting for a long time. And I thought, you know what? I'm not good enough. Or they have it easier. Or why does this always happen to me? How many of you guys have ever said that when you drop rank or you push for something, you say, why does this always happen to me? Right? Or they have it easier than I do. And all of those thoughts that run through your head, it's like an uncontrollable river that you can't stop. Right? It's almost like you want those thoughts to go away, but you can't help it. You just think like that. That happened to me almost weekly. And you know that feeling of doing really, really well, and you go from point A to point B and you're really glad about it, and then you go from point B to point C and you're killing it, and you get to point C, and when you get there, there's this big, massive wall of self-sabotage that takes over and sends you right back to square one. Right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? You push hard for success level 5 and you get there and that is all you do. Or you push hard and you get to 1-star or 2-star or diamond or emerald and you get there and then you drop rank and you go right back to square one. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? A to B, B to C, self-sabotage back to A. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Well, guys, I had to learn to adjust my thinking so I could break through C and get to D. I had to learn to adjust my thinking to get out of those slumps faster. I worked so hard on my mindset. I focused so hard on personal growth. I'm talking just every chance I got, diving into a book and absorbing what it was saying and investing in programs. And something interesting started to happen. When I focused on my own growth more than my business, something happened. Those periods of stress and anxiety and depression that I faced every single week, multiple times a week, where I'd find myself in a slump on the couch watching Netflix, they started to happen once every 2 weeks. And then I started to notice them happening once a month. And then once every 3 months. And then it was once every 6 months. And when they did happen, I knew how to course correct. And I knew how to change my thinking. Guys, those are the cobwebs of your business that you're going to have to get through if you want your why to become fulfilled. You're going to have to get through the negative thinking shit. Like how you think when you're down determines how long it's going to be before you get back up. So you need to learn how to control it. You need to intentionally focus on yourself and the growth of this. People ask me all the time, dude, why are you so happy all the time? And guys, I'm not perfect, right? There come times every once in a while where I'll get down. But I've trained my mind. I figuratively rewired the way that I think so I respond to situations differently. I was not this person 3 years ago. I couldn't hop on a call and teach you how to overcome emotional obstacles. I would just tell you to do shit, right? I wasn't the same guy, but I had to rewire my mind. So let me tell you some of the things that I do to train my mind to think in this way. So when you face those situations where your business isn't going as well in a certain month, or you're not performing as well as you know you could, you can snap out of it faster. So every morning, I do an exercise called priming, okay? Every single day. Kelsey, I know you try this one. Kelsey doesn't do this one. I do, right? And so if you're vibing with what I'm saying, try it, guys. It takes 14 minutes. And I always tell people, if you don't have 14 minutes, you don't have a life. Right? And so what it does is it makes you focus on what you're grateful for. So I want to do something with you real quick. I want you guys to think of one thing you're grateful for right now, right? Think of just, what's something you're grateful for? Think about it real quick. What's something you're grateful for? Glad you have a roof over your head. Glad you have a spouse. Glad you have a dog. Glad you, whatever it is. Think about something you're grateful for. And that's what most people do when they think about what they're grateful for. But I want you guys to do something different now. Close your eyes. And I want you to imagine a time in your past, a moment, a memory that you can feel deeply, deeply grateful for. What's a moment with family or friends or loved ones that you can just cherish? Maybe it's your wedding day. Maybe it's when you walked down the aisle. Maybe it's when you got your dog. Maybe it's when you met your spouse. What is that memory for you? And I want you to put yourself in that situation and breathe the same way you breathed in that exact moment. In your nose, out your mouth, the same way. Was your heart racing? What did you feel in that exact second, in that memory? Feel what you felt then. Hear what you heard then. Be there right now like it's happening. and be grateful for that moment. Imagine where your life is now because of that moment, and be so glad you went through it, knowing that, you know what, this is a blessing in my life that I went through this, or that I had this happen. You guys can open your eyes. That is gratitude. That's real gratitude. That's very, very different from saying, I'm glad I have a roof over my head, because you feel something, right? So every day I do this exercise called priming, and Kelsey can send it to you if you guys want to learn how to do it. Some people vibe with it, some people don't, but that's what I do. And it forces me to get into that state of mind. You want to cure comparison? Get grateful, right? You want to cure pain? Get grateful. You want to cure depression? Get grateful. You want to cure your anxiety? Get grateful. It is impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. When you are in that state of gratitude that you just felt right there, you weren't sad. You weren't sad at all. You were happy. You were glad. You were enjoying the moment. You didn't feel the pain that you might have felt 5 minutes ago, right? And I can respect that there are those states of mind where you're already in the dumps, right? Where it's very hard to feel grateful. But this exercise forces you to go there. I always give the example, but if you wake up and your spouse is rushed to work and they don't give you a kiss goodbye, and your dog shits on the carpet before you got to leave, and you don't have time to clean it up, and you get to work and your boss makes you stay late because you came in late, and there's traffic on I-90 and you can't get into work, and you got to stay late that day, you don't get home for dinner, everyone's already in bed when you get home, and you got to be up in 4 hours to do it all over again. How's your day going to go? It's a pretty bad day, isn't it? Right? Especially if it's a job you hate. It's a bad day. But would your entire day change if you altered your perspective for a second? In the morning, you just go, you know what? My wedding day was so amazing. And I'm so glad that I get to come home to this person. And I'm so glad that I have this dog that makes me laugh and smile all the time, even though they shit on the carpet, right? Or that I have the ability to have running water when there are, women in this world that don't know how they're going to feed their little newborn babies. I live in the United States of America, where how friggin' lucky am I that I am, right? Like if you're in the bottom 1% of this country, you're in the top 1% of the world. How lucky are you? And I told this to Kelsey today, right? You're breathing. That should be enough to smile about, right? So how would your day change if you focused on that before you hit traffic, before you missed breakfast, before you missed, getting into work or having to stay late? Would your entire day change if you primed your mind? How would your happiness change? Would you notice these changes overnight? No. But if you consistently focus on being grateful, your brain will start to rewire itself over time. Guys, your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, condition your mind to focus on being grateful, and slowly that anxiety, that overwhelm, that depression, that fear, you're talking the king of someone that used to do that. And I said, I don't have it, I did it, right? You're going to slowly start to notice it go away. And you're going to become excited about every day. You might be someone that says that you're anxious all the time, right? You might be someone that claims that they are a depressed person. And you might be saying, Brad, you don't understand. And you're damn right, I don't understand. I haven't felt real depression in a long time, and I have respect for you if you feel it. But all I'm saying is, why are you tolerating living that way anymore? If there is even a chance that this works, wouldn't it be worth practicing? Guys, if you're stressed, all stress is a code word for fear. That's it. It is a code word for fear. It's the achiever's word for fear. Stress comes from associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. Let's talk about perfection. Guys, perfection is the lowest possible standard you could ever have for your life, because it's impossible. It is lower than setting low goals with your coaching business. It's the lowest expectation you can have because it's impossible, right? Quit trying to be perfect. Think about overwhelm, right? Overwhelm just comes from it just means that you don't have your priorities in order. It means that you haven't picked what's most important. That's all overwhelm is. If you're stressed, it comes from associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. If you don't get to work by 8 a.m. and you're stressed about it, what's really going to happen, right? Let's say you even get fired. Aren't things still okay? You're still breathing. Train your mind like you train your body. Condition your mind to work this way. The guy that you're talking to right now had a victim complex most of his life. I'm not the same person I was a couple of years ago. I have trained my mind and rewired my mind the way that I think now. And now it's natural for me to be happy on a daily basis. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, dude. Like, you ask Kelsey, when we talk on our calls, I am fantastic all the time. Am I right, Kelsey? Not if that's true. I am just bouncing off the freaking walls. It's natural, but I didn't start there. And I don't give a shit how much serotonin or dopamine you don't have. The quality of your life is always in direct proportion to the quality of your emotions on a second-to-second basis. Because in any moment in time, you can be upset about anything. Because what's wrong, and listen hard to this, what's wrong is always going to be available to you. But so is what's right. So push against those problems and choose to focus on what's right. I talked about this on the last call we did. Problems are something that everyone has. Everyone's got them. The only people that don't have problems live in cemeteries. They're dead. If you don't have problems, you don't have a life. And there's a great quote from Tony Robbins. Problems are the resistance that you push against to sculpt the character of who you are. That's what a problem is. So be grateful for a problem because it's making you better. So take this and make the emotions of life the ones you actually want because you control it. And when you view your life as amazing, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you, and people give it to others and they give it back. I guarantee you, if there's one person that's inspired by this, they're going to change the way they act after this call. They're going to change the way they go about life. And they might make an impact on someone else that changes their life. There is a ripple effect of viewing your life as amazing. So we've talked about comparing. We talked about gratitude and rewiring your mind, and that's amazing. And remember, this is still a process. So let's say you've started to laser focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. You focus on being grateful instead of the pain. There's still part of your mind that plays tricks on you, right? And that happens when you start to get so attached to a goal coming true, to diamond coming true, to emerald coming true, to success club coming true, to 2-star coming true, to retiring your job coming true, to whatever it is, where you become so attached that your self-worth is dictated by a goal. And you are so attached that it literally pushes you away from what you want. I find, and raise your hand if you can feel this, I found myself pushing so hard for these goals to come true. And no matter how hard I pushed and knowing I needed to make it happen, I just felt like it was further and further and further away. How many of you guys have ever felt that way before? It just feels like it's evading you, right? And I hit Success Club 10, but I felt like nothing was happening. So how many of you guys have ever had the mindset of this absolutely must happen? And if it doesn't happen, I am totally screwed, right? Or I need this to work. This is an absolute must work for me. Or like if I don't, that my self-worth takes a hit, or I'm so screwed, or I have to. When you think that way and you come up short on a goal, which guess what? In business, you're gonna come up short on goals sometimes, newsflash, right? How do you feel when you come up short, when it's an absolute must and your self-worth is dependent on it? You feel pretty shitty, right? You feel like your self-worth took a hit a little bit, right? And let me guess, you go from A to B, B to C, and it leads to self-sabotage, and you go right back to A. Story of my past. The reason that's happening is because you're skipping the entire first part of success. You're refusing to accept what's already happened in your life. Acceptance will give you freedom. And I don't mean accepting where you are and just be fine and staying where you are. That's not what I mean. It's okay to set goals. I mean acceptance and letting go. So take out a sheet of paper. And I think Kelsey did this exercise with you guys before, but I want to do it with you guys again. Take out a sheet of paper. And I want you to draw 2 circles next to each other, just 2 big circles next to each other on a sheet of paper, horizontally on the sheet of paper. And above the left circle, I want you to write my story about what happened. And above the right circle, I want you to write the facts or what happened. So just put the facts. So let's talk about the idea of Success Club, right? A lot of times, typically after a Team Cup month, people feel like they're not doing as well and they become so attached to it and it almost shuts them down. And so let's talk the idea of Success Club. How many of you guys have ever come up short or you're not performing as well as you've done before? And there's stories dancing around in your head. And so I'm going to give some examples of stories, and I'm sure you've faced a lot of these. And I want you to write any other ones that come to your head on why you're not where you want to be. Like maybe you're missing the resources to make it happen. Maybe you're missing the people, you don't have the time, whatever it is. But I'm going to rapid fire through a list, and I want you to write down as many as you can catch. I'm going to go fast because of time, but write down as many as you can catch, and also whatever other ones that you probably feel or stories that you make up in your mind about why you're not where you want to be. So here we go. Let me pull my screen. Okay, here we go. I didn't have time to hit Success Club. I don't know if I can do it. I need this to work, and if I don't, I won't get what I want. I always face the situation in my business and people say no for whatever reason. It just always happens to me. Or every time I try, it doesn't work. Or why did I do so good last month, but I'm not doing as well this month? Or I don't know if I can do it. Or there just aren't people saying yes. Or I need to do it. Or why are they able to do it and I'm not? Why is Kelsey at Success Club 18 and I was there last month, but I'm only at 2 right now? And take a second and write down any other reasons on why you are not where you want to be this month. Just write down any other reasons, any stories that you played in your head on why you're not where you want to be in that left circle. We'll give it like 10 seconds. We get a sip of water. So all those things that I've listed off, I'm sure you've experienced some of those feelings or something similar in your mind. Would you agree? You've experienced something similar, yes? Okay, so all those things I listed off, isn't that just incredibly overwhelming and intense and stressful if you're trying to solve all that shit, right? You look at it and it just makes you go into shutdown mode. You're just like, how the hell do I solve the fact that Kelsey's at this and I'm at 2 and I'm not where I was last month? How the hell do I solve the fact that I don't have as much time and all these things? When you look at that list, it's overwhelming and it makes you shut down, right? Yes. And that's because it's all part of the story you're telling yourself and making shit up in your head about it, right? But what really is happening? What's the actual fact of the situation? And I want you to write this in the right circle. I didn't hit Success Club. There you go. That's the fact. That's literally it. You know how to solve it? Go invite people. Cool, you solved your problem, right? Like, that's literally it. That's the only fact of the situation, right? And which of those, when you look at the left circle with all the bullshit stories that go on in your head, or the right circle, left, right, I don't know if this is reversing the screen, about I didn't hit Success Club, or I'm lower points than I was last month. Which one do you know how to solve faster in a split second? The right circle, right? Like, you know the solution. Invite more people. You just solved your problem. And all of a sudden, all that stress could have been completely avoided if you just focus on the fact of the situation. Guys, what happened, happened. What didn't happen, didn't happen. Is that part clear so far? We good so far with that? Focusing on the facts saves you a lot of pain and suffering, right? So flip that sheet over and draw 2 new circles. And above the left circle, I want you to label it attachment. And above the right circle, I want you to label it commitment. Raise your hand when you get your circles drawn. Left circle, attachment, right circle, commitment. So when you're in this state of, this absolutely must happen, and if this doesn't happen, I'm so screwed, or it needs to happen right now, think about the emotions, the negative emotions that you feel on a regular basis. Right? What emotions do you feel regularly? And I'm going to rapid fire through these, but write them down as you catch them. You might not catch all of them, and that's okay. You can add more later after the call. But here we go. Would you agree that when you're in that state, and here we go, stress, anxiety, guilt, fear, sadness, shame, struggle, should have, unhappy, trapped, faithless, victim, passionless, forcing, mad, angry, depressed, scarcity, doubtful, lazy, questioning, ungrateful, and comparison? And list any other emotions in that attachment circle right now that you feel when your self-worth is attached to a goal. What shitty emotions do you feel? Write them out. What if you let it go? What if you just chill and let it go? And what if you say that you're going to be happy either way? What if you become committed to achieving a goal, but your self-worth wasn't dependent upon that goal, and you are still amazing whether or not you hit that goal? Erica, Caitlin, Stephanie, Emily, what What if you guys are still amazing people and your self-worth isn't dependent on that? What if you were committed to hitting Higher Success Club? What if you were committed to hitting Diamond? What if you were committed to Elite? And what if every single day you did it because you fell in love with the process and who you were becoming instead of having your self-worth be attached to the outcome of a goal? What if you were committed instead of attached? What type of emotions would you feel on a day-to-day basis if you focused on the amazing growth you were experiencing as a person by setting these goals? And so I'm going to go through these emotions in the right circle of commitment. But would you agree, if you loved the journey and focused on the process and just chilled a little bit and said, I'm amazing either way, would you feel passion, energy, enthusiasm, happiness, drive, health, vitality, growth, progress, unstoppable, I can, possibility, alive, belief, excitement, abundance, freedom, smile, forgiveness, capable, trust, greatness, resourceful, and pumped up? Which of those two circles are you more likely to hit a goal from? The right or the left? Which emotions are more conducive to a goal coming true? Commitment or attachment? Commitment, right? Which circle are you more likely to solve a problem from? Commitment or attachment? Do you see how story lines up with attachment and fact lines up with commitment? Guys, when you're in attachment, a result is not present yet, and you're dependent upon that result to be happy. When you're in commitment, you get a result every single day because your reward is the growth. And remember that feeling of trying so incredibly hard to force yourself to do this, but you don't have the energy or the want or the desire or the drive or the fire? That goes away instantly. And you become on fire because you love the day-to-day and you love who you're becoming. When you are in attachment, write these down. When you're in attachment, you are constricting energy from other people. There's a reason why it's hard to hit Success Club when you're in attachment, because people can feel your negative vibes. And I bet you know if you're doing it. I bet in your heart you know if that's you. If you're in attachment, you're constricting energy from other people. When you're in commitment, you generate energy and you make other people feel amazing every day. And guess how it's easier to hit Success Club when you're doing that, right? It becomes so much easier. When you're in commitment, you generate energy. When you're in attachment, and this is kind of a big point, guys. When you're in attachment, your happiness is at the effect of life, meaning circumstance of life determines your happiness. So when you're in attachment, your happiness is at the effect of life. When you're in commitment, your happiness causes life. It is a whole new ballgame. It is a whole new way to live life. You want to know why I'm so happy every day? It's because I'm committed and I'm not attached. Be committed to a goal, not attached. And all of a sudden, it's a lot more fun to set goals. How many of you guys have ever gone through a goal setting workshop and it wasn't fun? It becomes fun to set goals. It becomes fun to be a coach. It becomes fun to run challenge groups. It becomes a lot easier to work your business because every single day you love the process of doing it. We got to get rid of that shitty voice, right? I know that everyone here, including me, has negative beliefs, right, that we believe about ourselves. And if you're like me, then no matter how hard you try to tell yourself something that things are great, or how many of you guys have gone through a goal setting workshop and you've set a goal and your mind goes, ha, yeah, right? And like, how many times have you guys done it? There's that little voice in your mind that laughs at you and says, yeah, right, buddy, you're still a worthless piece of shit, right? Raise your hand. How many of you guys have ever had thoughts as I go through these about the following? Let me pull up my list. Why don't I have enough money? Who's ever felt that? Why am I so lonely? Who's ever felt that? Why don't people like me? Who's ever thought that? How come I always fuck it up? Who's ever thought that? Why am I so fat? Who's thought that? Why is it so hard to lose weight? Why am I so broke? Why do I never catch a break? Why is it always so much easier for other people? Why can't I do anything right? Why am I so unhappy? How many of you guys are assholes to yourself like that? You guys are dicks to yourself. Like, Literally, aren't you guys being dicks to yourself? How many of you guys will listen to personal development audios? You'll read books, and no matter how much amazing shit you flood your head with, there's still that little piece of you, that little voice in your mind that says, yeah, fucking right, dude. No matter how much you tell yourself or someone tells you that you can have success with this, there's that little voice that says, no, you can't. You guys know what I'm talking about? That little voice that's just kind of hiding back there, right? One thing I've learned about my life is that it's a direct reflection of my thoughts. It's an amplification of my thoughts. And when you set goals, you're trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality, correct? That's what a goal is, creating a new reality as opposed to a current reality. But there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap is called belief. And until you actually believe that you can do something, it's going to be very hard to create a new reality. And want to know why that is? And this is kind of the truth of this. The reality is that it's because most of us don't actually believe that we can hit our goals. That's the truth. Most of us don't believe we can do it, right? I'm guilty of that too. Most of us don't have this intense belief that we can do it. And no matter how many times we set goals, it doesn't change the fact there's that little voice in the back of our mind that doesn't believe it's possible. So when you ask, and this, if there's anything you take away from the call, this is the most important part. When you ask yourself a question, your brain automatically searches for the answer, whether you like it or not. So ask yourself this: why can I never hit Success Club? Just ask yourself that. Why can I never hit Success Club? What did you do? Do you notice your brain actually started looking for why you couldn't hit Success Club? And just like Google, it spits out all the reasons why you are so friggin' shitty, right? Like, that's what it does. Your brain works that way. What if you reversed it? So instead of telling yourself that you always hit Success Club and you can do this and trying to convince your mind that you're amazing, knowing that little voice is going to laugh at you, why not just ask yourself a different question, right? Your brain is going to look for the answer no matter what to whatever you're asking it, subconsciously or consciously anyways, right? So you might as well ask it an intelligent question. Ask and you shall receive. Well, lately, based on the amount of hands I've been seeing, you're asking yourself some really shitty questions, and you've literally been asking for shitty results. Why is it so hard to lose weight? Why am I so broke? What does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why it's so hard to lose weight. And that's what you focus on. So you never lose the weight because your mind goes on all the reasons why you can't. Why is it so hard to hold diamond? Guess what your brain is doing? It's finding all the reasons why it's so hard for you to be a diamond coach. So you don't do it. No matter how many amazing opportunities come your way or people you know you need to talk to, you'll find a way, A to B, B to C, self-sabotage back to A. You literally, and this is a big point, you are literally getting what you're asking for. You're literally getting what you're asking for because you're asking shitty questions. So what do you think when you say to yourself, why is it so easy to hit Success Club? You still look for an answer, don't you? You find all the reasons why it's so easy to hit Success Club. Imagine if you filled your mind with that shit every day. Don't just try to change your thinking, change your questions. Live in a question. You don't have to solve the question, but live in a question. So your Google search engine searches for all the answers and ask yourself the right questions. So for your life and your business, your homework coming out of this, write down all the negative crap you ask yourself all the time. After this call, immediately, write down all the negative crap you ask yourself all the time. Why am I so broke? Why is my business not growing? Why am I stuck? And I want you to flip that question on its head and ask yourself, why am I so wealthy? Why is it so easy for my business to boom? Why is it so easy to hit Success Club? Your brain is looking for the answers to what you ask it 100% of the time. So you might as well be smart and ask it the right things to lead to a better life. And slowly, you're going to notice everything change. So let's close up here and let's get really, really real. When you face those hard times in your business, you're going to be challenged, right? In a really tough way. And you have three options. One, you can quit. I have a cancellation form. I'll send it to you. Kelsey does too. You can give up. You can eliminate yourself from this community of growth and you can just keep living life, find yourself 5 years in the same spot. Two, you can stay in the same spot. You can find yourself afraid, right? You can find yourself comparing. You can wake up with the same struggles like I did, right? Or three, you can grow. You can take action. You can do something about your future. You can be grateful. You can run your own race. You can be committed, not attached. You can ask yourself amazing questions that can change your life. But the reality is there will never be a right time to change the course of your life. Something will come up, and I guarantee you that. Life will always get in the way. This business is not convenient, right? If you are dreading inconvenience and struggle, you should stop dreaming. Quote by Brendon Burchard. If you're dreading inconvenience and struggle, you should stop dreaming. There will never be a right time, but that time that you spend growing, you could be growing and contributing and giving. This gift of health and fitness and freedom is going to pass anyway. So you might as well take it and run with it. Like, when is now a good time? There's an opportunity knocking on your door. And there's something here that says, I'm supposed to be here. There's a real thing here. And you're going to get faced with those situations that we talked about in the call. And you can either face them and grow your mindset, or you can stay in the same spot, or you can quit. And I hope you face them, because I did. And I'm the happiest person I've ever been in my entire life. So come back to this. Remember this stuff. That opportunity is knocking on your door right now to blow this year up, to finish these last 9 days strong. We have the best business in the world with the best products in the world. You don't have to do the same numbers, the same schedule, but you do have to stand for something. You have to set a standard of excellence for yourself. You aren't minimum people, right? You wouldn't have been joining this team if you were a minimum person. So give yourself more than the minimum here. Give this month, March, more than the minimum. Finish stronger than you did last month. Find a way and give yourself the future you want out of this. Make the time you spend worth it for you and your family. Don't give your family and your future the minimum, because it's your turn to actually make it happen. Do the shit when no one's looking. Face the fears, and actually don't face them. Kick them in the freaking throat, because you and your family deserve a future that can come from this. Draw a line in the sand, because just because you signed up as a Beachbody coach doesn't mean that you started. Make today your start date and change your future. Keep it simple. Focus on the simple skills. Literally all we do is invite, expand our network, share on social media, run great challenge groups, and invite people to pay this forward. That's coaching. It's not rocket science. You don't have to build a rocket and send it to the moon. You literally have to do those things, right? And when you do that, instead of doing what most people do, which is shrink their dreams down to what society tells them they should do, you can build something truly special here, and you can live a life that will change your family's future and give so many other people this amazing gift of health and freedom financially, and for yourself too. So do that, and please listen to what this says, especially in the mindset stuff. And I hope you guys find this valuable. Take this and apply it, and I promise you, not only will your business change and grow, but the way you approach life will change, and your happiness will change. And that's really what this is all about. So Kelsey, back to you, my friend. I know we got to switch calls in about 4 minutes, but just want to turn it back to you.
Oh man. Wow. I really, honestly, this was just like, I know that you and I talked about this a lot, but I still ended up with like 3 pages of notes. And I literally circled the last thing you said. Just because you signed up as a Beachbody coach doesn't mean you started. And I think that is so, so solid. I mean, in regards to everything you said with the attachment and the commitment and the comparison, I mean, I hope that did you guys get something out of this? Is this what you guys needed to hear tonight? Because I feel like so often, it's hilarious that I actually started the call the way that I did, because I said how, like, I feel like when you put the word Success Club out there, it's immediate, frantic craziness across the board, and people just forget. We forget about it. So I think, like you said, like feeding your mind with the positivity. And when you're talking about the priming exercise, I told Brad, I was like, I just can't get myself to lay there and like do it. But I will say that I have been reading the book, The Universe Has Your Back. And I'm starting to get myself in the mindset of meditating more often. And I am telling you what, like, it changes everything. You might think it, like, I literally thought it was for hippies. And I was like, I'm not doing that shit. And I actually started doing it. He sent me the priming thing. I laid there for like 10 minutes and I was like, I got to go eat something. Like, that's the way that my mind works. And but this literally is starting to work. So I definitely 100% recommend the priming exercise, and I'll post it in our team page as well. I'm going to retry it now, Brad, now that I've read that book, because hopefully I can actually get through the whole 14 minutes without thinking about food. But yeah, does anybody have like one? You can probably take one question before you have to switch over. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask or say or comment? Katie Ann, go ahead.
I just want to know, I'm actually reading The Universe Has Your Back too, and literally my motto to myself is let go or be dragged. So you like spoke to me, like my mind is just blown right now. But anyways, my question is, what are some of you said that when you were having a hard time, you dove into reading a bunch of books. What are some of your top favorite books?
Life's Golden Ticket by Brendan Burchard. It puts life in perspective, helps you live in a state of gratitude all the time. Definitely recommend that book. A book that's really hard to read that helped me a lot, and maybe you can vibe with it, some people don't, is called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's the first 3 or 4 chapters, you feel like you're part of a cult. but then after that, like it really speaks to you a little bit. That book really helped me. It's weird though. It's like the weirdest book I've ever read. Those are my two for mindset, but the biggest thing that helped me was investing in a Tony Robbins seminar. Getting to unleash the power within changed my entire world. So highly recommend that. Any of his stuff is amazing. And then, there's just my entire bookcase right here is all personal development books. But I would start with Life's Golden Ticket. It's a novel. It's very easy to read, and it just puts life in perspective for you, especially with mindset stuff, and it helps you become grateful. Yeah, no problem, Gideon. It helped.
And that's something, because actually he just got, like he said, he got back from Brendan Burchard 2 weeks ago, I think now, almost 2 weeks ago. And him and Colleen went together, and it was just like, you can just see it from social media that they were just having their lives change. So we're doing our Diamond Retreat, obviously, here in North Carolina this year, but I was thinking maybe for 2018, we make it just a retreat to go to one of those conferences together, because that could be something that is extremely badass, and I know that would be beneficial to everybody. So, but the house already is booked this year, so you guys are stuck with that. So I'm sure you guys are all complaining. But no, Brad, this was fantastic. I know you got to get over to your other call, and I'll be over there in like 3 minutes. I'm going to go make my shake really quick. But guys, this was so beneficial. And like, I know that I needed to hear it, and no, I think we all did, to be honest. If you guys missed any of it, go ahead and please go back and watch the recording. And if you guys even just re-watch the recording, honestly, because there's going to be stuff that you missed. And I really encourage you guys to make those circles again with your own words in them, and kind of go back, because I know that tonight, once I'm done with Brad's call, I'm actually going to sit down and do the story one with the facts, with the stuff that's been going on with me. I think that's a really good one too. So definitely do that stuff. Apply this stuff to your life and really dive into gratitude and why you're here. For my PS coaches, we have our wine and why night tomorrow. As actually Brad told me to do it, and I'm really excited about it. So my PS coaches, that's at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Just grab a glass of wine, and we're going to sit around and we're just going to talk. We're going to get to know each other a little bit better. Actually, all of you guys can come if you really want to. I mean, shit, grab a glass of wine. I'll post it on our regular team page. All right. Well, Brad, I'll see you over the other call. Guys, thank you so much. And 90s left. Go for it. Go for it. Make your circles and stop telling yourself that you can't. All right. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.